Somebody once told me that I could make some money by bullying some people online. So I grew a gnome goatee and put on a stupid beanie and started making up some dank lies. So I'm making death threats and I'm calling people nigger, counting that cash on my channel's growing bigger. Never you mind that I was already banned from my racist, homophobic, hate speech rants. Found a loophole, now it's my goal to poison.
Joke. That was a joke. If anyone takes that seriously, it was a goddamn joke. If anybody, I know a lot of people, I know so many people that are gonna come after me, especially after this video is put up. They're gonna say that I was harassing someone. Nope, I wasn't. That was a joke. And that's just the new way of making my intros on my rants. If you honestly can't take that as a joke, get the fuck off my channel. Hello everyone, sorry for that little intrusion before I started the video. I feel like that just needed to be said because there's going to be a flame war after this video goes up. I guarantee there will be. So, what in God's name am I going to talk about this time? Since, well, let's just say, for the past few days as I am recording this, there has been quite a bit of a shitstorm, and if anyone follows my friends, you might know, you might not know what's going on, and I'm pretty sure everyone's just looking at this video thinking, oh god, why? We just want this to be over, what is going on? Well, I have a couple reasons for doing this. One, I want to give criticism to a certain someone. Two, there are a lot of people's safety. There's a lot of safety danger in the middle of this. And three, there are just some things about the ranting community that I would just like to point out. And the title suggests, and if you can see what the title suggests, yeah, this is probably going to be a very long video. So, I'm going to basically explain, or just make a summary in my perspective of what exactly happened, and I'm not saying that you guys should take sides or that, you know, point the finger at who did wrong in this. In all honesty, I was a neutral party during this whole situation that happened that I'm about to explain. So, you guys have free brains, you can think whatever you want. Though I do, like I said in my disclaimer, I do not promote harassment on either side of the spectrum. So just please keep an open mind while I'm saying this, and I'm not gonna flat out say this is an unbiased perspective on anything, because it's really not. Trust me, as this video goes on, there's going to be probably a lot more bad shit pointing towards one person than the other, mainly because of what I found out, and stuff, in my opinion, that I find very problematic. So, take this as you will. You don't have to, you just take it with a grain of salt. Most of the evidence I have is just based on what I believe. I just don't really think that most people will agree with me on this, and if they do, then okay. Do what you guys want. I know you guys have free will. And for this particular video, I thought I'd change things up a bit. So instead of using my lovely Loki facecam persona that I have, I'm instead going to use none other than Kylo Ren, because I'm space garbage. Anyway, guys, let's begin. Keep in mind when I'm saying all of this, I'm not trying to drag anybody else into this drama. This is just a summary of what happened. So don't get the wrong idea. So the big thing to note about the situation is that it was a huge falling out with a couple of YouTubers and DeviantArt artists, whom some of them I am friends with. That would be the Raging Redheads, also known as Mickey and Shiva, Cherried Lace, Luna Kanamuda, and Grinding Gears / Sakura Aragi, or Saki as she prefers to be called. How this whole started out, at least from what I saw, was with the video that Saki made called The Corruption of a Ranter, which was basically just a rant on the user DatCrazyCatCritic. The video was well made, and it was really well deserved on CatCritic's part, because she was, really causing trouble. But the situation isn't as one-sided as people think it to believe. And how it all started out was because of the Akai vs. Rascal situation, which Luna and CatCritic were really both at fault with it. And at the end of the video, there were a couple messages, including my own, basically just giving their final thoughts on Cat Lady. And Levi Matters had made a message as well, and it was cut severely. And Note it was kind of my fault because I was one of the people that told Saki to cut the message, and Shiva was too as well. So, Levi eventually made her own video giving her full thoughts on the situation, and IDKY Hanafu that eventually stepped in saying, you know, more info and just what her thoughts were on Luna specifically, because that was the only thing on the video that wasn't really, you know, brought up as much. So it kind of made the thing seem one-sided. What eventually happened was Saki made a video, calling it the final update, basically saying that she royally screwed up, not explaining at all. She just said she royally screwed up because of what she did in the last video, and she said she was leaving the ranting community forever. Even she said that to me in this Skype conversation. And I basically told her that it was okay, it was just a mistake, and she just seemed very upset, and she said something that made it sound like she wanted to kill herself, and I was freaking the hell out. So I just told her, look, it's okay, this is just all one big mistake, we don't have to, you know, it doesn't have to end this way, you don't have to stop being her answer, things like that. But we never talked again. She just kind of disappeared. So I was worried sick. But then eventually, a couple weeks later, she then makes an explanation video, actually keeping her fans out of the dark and just saying, you know, what exactly happened. And in the video, she mentioned one comment of someone calling her out because she was leaving so many people in the dark. And she pointed out these comments and Skype conversations left by Shiva when she said that she was surprised that the message was cut. And both those videos are deleted now, but it still left a pretty big impact on what happened. Because Shiva was severely broken up about this. She got really, really, really upset over this, and it pretty much led to them getting into a huge fiasco on Skype over it. But in all honesty, it was pretty much bad on both sides, because one, Saki was pretty much getting pissy over one comment, and for some reason showing Saki's comments for I don't know what reason, and then Shiva was just bawling her eyes out over it. See, there's really no, like, direct, like, who's to blame in this situation, because everyone was just, you know, crying. So after all of this, I saw at least two different perspectives about this. One being the vent art pictures that Mickey, Shiva, and Luna had made, which I gotta be honest was kinda bad timing, especially on Luna's part, but they're all Undertale trash, so I guess that's one way to explain this, but yeah, it did kind of seem a bit odd that they all look the same. And on the other side, you saw Saki basically making journals about positive after positive, saying that everything needs to be positive and sunshine and happy and not negative, and she was directly pointing the finger at all three of them for their vent art pictures. Now, in my personal opinion, I really don't, like, mind vent art. It's one way to get your emotions out, especially if you're an artist. That's all it is. You're getting your emotions out. Yeah, it may be creepy and very edgy, but that's usually what it feels like in your head when you're having those emotions. So seeing both of these sides, and eventually, you know, talking to Mickey and Shiva about what happened, it was pretty obvious that Saki was pointing the finger at them because they were being quote-unquote negative with their vent arts. Even though in the descriptions especially on Shiva's part, especially in the description, it said that it was made at the time, but she wants to use it for her character now. In all honesty, it probably would have been better if you didn't put vent art in the title, but that's just my thing. Either way, you could see that there are at least two different perspectives on the situation, and it kind of made it obvious that there was going to be something that was going to rupture the friendship, but it only got worse from there. And there was just a bunch of little things that were just really unnecessary. I cannot describe my frustration and stress for pretty much everyone involved in this. Nobody needed to take it this far. The videos, the journals, everything. This whole situation was complete and utter bull. It didn't have to go public, it didn't have to go as far as it did, but it did anyway. Everyone was being overly emotional, and that's not what ranters do. Everyone was at fault in this situation, and end off. And what exactly happened afterwards? Well, Mickey and Shiva decided to actually learn from their mistakes, and they made a video basically explaining why they deleted the video and apologizing for their recklessness. And what was Saki's response to all this? Alright, after a lot of thinking and last-minute decisions, I will not be making a video regarding the recent petty drama that went down. I have been saying from the very beginning, even in my own video, that this was a minor conflict that was blown out of proportion because some people want to make it public. Hell, halfway through it all, I was starting to see how stupid it was myself. When people made comments in the video regarding it, I agreed 100% with them, but if I made a video about it, it would only sound like a broken record. On the other hand, I'm not going to fake maturity and put on an act just to save face, because of backlash of being called out on BS. I'm not going to sugarcoat a preaching speech about being a role model for new ranters, because guess what? Even ranters can be ranted on. Regardless, I've known that ever since I got into the ranting community, hence the reason why the Raging Redheads and Luna's videos didn't bother me at all. Heck, I promoted their videos, because I wholeheartedly encourage people to get all sides of the story before making any judgments. But that's the ranting community. No one is spared. Even ranters can be ranted on. But how the reaction and responses to the rant. For example, Conquer09 has had rant videos made on him, and he handled them very well and maturely. I saw those videos before returning to the ranting community, and it was then I realized that no one was spared, not even ranters. What matters is how you respond to those rants and how you handle them. And honestly, I believe that what makes a true ranter, heck, even Cat Critic doesn't respond with a tantrum or backlash from my video on her. And despite that crap, she's done. I have to respect that. But at any rate, that's what I believe, because if a ranter responds to a video on them with a tantrum and fit, they act like people who they rant on. Anyone can get ranted on, even ranters themselves. And again, what matters the most is how to handle after that. But when the fight breaks out between friends and tries to make it more important than hundreds of people dying and shooting and bombs, something's wrong here. Something's wrong there. Like I said, even I knew this was stupid, and the only reason why I made the video was out of self-defense. I was not told to make the video. So again, I'm not going to make a video with fake maturity and lies spilling through my teeth, and even every word that I said. It's fishy enough when a mature video that is made only hours after coincidencing and patronizing comments were made. Now, after much deliberation, I sent my video to private to oppose to deleting it. Why? Well, when this happens again, yes, I said when, not if, I'll put the video on public to confirm the repeat pattern of BS. Other than that, I'm not going to make a video blatantly lying and manipulating my fans and audience. I don't do that. But I'm also not going to put on an act in fake maturity. Not to mention the contradiction of saying I'm done yet making a video about it anyway. But if any of you want to stay neutral and fans of them as well, that's fine by me. Everyone is entitled to their own beliefs and to make them their own judgment. I'm just not going to make a video because I don't lie and manipulate people like that. I've been lied to enough as it is. Honestly, I'm not going to wish them the best, but I'm not going to wish them ill will because that's illegal. What? Like with Mayo and my ex-friends, they're all dead to me. They don't exist. Now, if you excuse me, I have commissions and must need a 2-month order scheduled work that needs to be done. Okay, all bets are off. Now, this is the thing that really got under my skin. Because Saki is claiming that Miki was faking maturity in the video. If you don't mind if I play it?
Hey guys. Some of you may have noticed the recent video that was taken down. Well, I'm here to tell you why. It was childish and stupid. The whole drama is childish and stupid. Both sides are being brats, and it needs to stop. And I am very much including our side on this. While reading the comments from the stream, the majority said one thing. This is stupid, and it needs to stop. This entire drama is pointless. And you guys know how I feel about when the majority of you guys say something. If 10 people at a party tell you you're drunk, you're probably drunk. If over 70% of your comments say this is stupid and childish and pointless, probably is. So if Saki wants to keep hers up and continue to claim others made her do the video, Fine. But me and Shiva both agreed this was the wrong way to handle it. It shouldn't have gone public. Finally, we as the Raging Redheads apologize to our subscribers who had to witness us acting like children when we are adults. We are supposed to set examples for young aspiring ranchers to follow, and this was not setting a good example. I hope we can all move past this. Also, if you choose to believe Saki, that's fine. If you want to unsubscribe, unwatch me, her, or both of us, that's fine too. And I'm not going to attack anyone for simply disagreeing with me. You all have free will, you are all open-minded, and you're not our sheep. You have your own choice in the matter. That's the reason we put the video up in the first place, was so you guys could make a choice. But we realized that it was unfair for us to act like you guys had a choice to make at all. You all just hate seeing people you respect fight. That is something I was told so many times in that comment section. And before I go, I just want to say I wish you all the best, and I hope others involved can follow this example and just let the split end cleanly. No one wants a drama like last year. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like fake immaturity to me, sweetheart. And I have talked to Mickey and Shiva about what happened. They wholeheartedly believe that this whole situation was petty garbage. And yet you're just sitting there on your computer screen saying that, oh, I'm the only mature one here, blah, 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 blah. And might I add, when you say, I was told not to make the video, yeah, you were. Didn't you say that things were egging you on and that people told you to do it? Own up to your fault, woman, Jesus Christ! And that's what this video is mainly going to be about. Since Saki can't admit to her faults to the situation that is wrong on both sides, I'm gonna do that for her. And Saki, I know you're smart, so I really encourage you not to play any "I didn't say that" cards on me. And also, yes, the video was private now, so I can't really use any audio clips from it since I didn't download it at the time, but I have witnesses. And those will be linked in the description describing what they saw with both sides of the video. So if you're planning on playing the "I didn't say that" card on me, well, you got a lot to say for yourself. Now to start this off, this is a very, interesting thing that I like to point out about Saki. It was something that was kinda making me a bit skeptical about her credibility, considering, you know, the content that she has made, both on her YouTube and her DeviantArt page. The biggest one being her counter against an old friend of hers called Mayonnaise. Ever since that video went up, she would never shut up about mayo! I swear to fucking Christ. I watched her on DeviantArt after I discovered her, and ever since that video was up, she never, I repeat, never shut up about mayo. It got so annoying, but she just never shut up. It's not even, Mayo couldn't even look at her. It couldn't be even pass a glance at her without Saki screaming and typing on her computer going, Mayo did something! Oh my god, Mayo's here!
I have to leave a hate comment!
Now, I couldn't get that many good examples of this considering, Saki mainly brought up Mayo in her status posts on DeviantArt, and since DeviantArt is fucking stupid and they can't function their own status post system, it doesn't allow you to actually access and look at the full, list of all the status posts the person you're watching makes. But I do have a few good examples. One being her little, quote under her username. Kura is dead. Okay, if anyone has not seen the Mayo video, this might be confusing, but let me put it simple. Saki used to go by Kura in the past, and basically Mayo and a whole bunch of people who had trouble with her in the past were dead-naming her that, and so that's what she put. That's pretty much it. So if anyone was just visiting her page to look at her art, didn't even know that she was a YouTuber or anything, they, in all honesty, would you have just seen that and just thought, the fuck is this shit? Because that's what I honestly thought when I first saw it, and then I saw the Mayo video and I was just like, oh. What? Now, other than her constant status updates regarding Mayo, which was just her repeating herself, and what she quotes on her little username on DeviantArt, it was also what she called this event in her video, and in the specific Skype conversation, Mayo 2.0, which I'll get to that in just a few minutes. and what also she told me in the idea of DeviantART journal. Which, I will be honest, my idea of DeviantART journal was because of Saki. And I did lie to her saying that it wasn't, which was my bad, but I'll do anything to get good evidence for a video or just for anything. But the main reason why I did that was because since Saki was pointing the finger at them for making DeviantART, I just had to steady the waters a bit to see if that's what she actually meant, considering I knew she talked about Mayo a lot, and regarding this, the stupid situation, I just had to make sure. And what she said in her comment really did prove me right on both ends of the spectrum. I can agree to an extent through my personal experience based on what people have told me. It's best not to make DeviantART in general, especially if it's potentially directed at someone or a situation. Otherwise, you look like you're seeking pity or attention, or just subtly trashing someone. For example, my former friend, Mio, that I made a rant on, did something very similar, along with posting vague status posts pointedly directed at me. I can understand if the reason why you made this icy was because of my journal, which is fine. I can understand that everyone has different views on the issue. It's just from my personal experience and on what I've been told, it's something not to do ever, which is why I rarely do it anymore. That's understandable. I've seen my fair share of that as well. I didn't see your journal about what you said about DeviantART after I posted this, and I was just like, well, crap, XD. Sorry if it seemed that way, total coincidence, lol. Right, and I'm glad that you understand. I'm always worried when I explain my view about DeviantART, I'm going to get attacked or hounded on again. As if my view on DeviantART wasn't negative to begin with. Hey, no worries, Icy. I mean, with the amount of DeviantART that has popped in such a short amount of time, I'm sure that you would put your 2 cents into the matter. Oh my fucking god! Are you kidding me? First of all, you're pointing directed at Mayo. Second of all, you're pointing directed at the stupid situation. What the crap is this? Okay, I understand. Everyone has a different view on DeviantART. I understand if you don't like it, I understand if you do like it. But in all honesty, not every piece of DeviantART is attention-seeking or pointedly directed at someone. That's just from your own personal experience. And I'm sorry if someone hounded you for saying this, but come on! DeviantART is based on emotion, like any other art form that there is. Art is based on what's on your mind and what's in your heart. And if it's dark and edgy and emotional, that's gonna happen. I don't understand. I mean, yeah, I can understand to an extent. Trust me, I've had my fair share of people who always made DeviantART for seeking pity, but Jesus Christ, you're just throwing this out of the blue just because. Why? I honestly can't take you seriously. I really, really can't. And how am I supposed to take you seriously when you say that? Especially since you said this at the end of your Mayo video.
You all want me to change? Let me change. I'm gonna move on. I'm gonna talk to new people and make friends whether I know they're friends of yours or not. I'm not trying to turn your friends against you. I just want to move on. I'm not. Kura would do that. But Kura's not here anymore. Saki is here now. And Saki doesn't do that. I'm not going to let you bring up dead topics that are years old to, metaphorically speaking, bring Kura from the dead. Because truth be told, Kura, that demon, she terrifies me. She scares the living hell out of me. I know what she did was wrong. I know what she's done. I've seen her do it. And I am not gonna let her come back and do the same thing again. And Mayo, all of you who are obviously listening, if you still continue to want to bring up the stuff that I've done in the past, by all means go right ahead. It'll only prove the points I've made. Not only that, it'll only prove who's the real person that won't let go of the past. It'll also prove who's the real person that's holding on to something that's a year old, and who's the one that's actually moving on. So since all of you are obviously not going to let the past go, keep grasping at those straws. Meanwhile, I'm going to be here moving on down the road less traveled with a smile on my face.
Yeah. In all honesty, if you wanted Kura to die and this whole situation to die, you wouldn't be doing this shit. I'm sorry, but ever since this video went up, you had never shut up about this. And hearing this back in your video, you're trying to sound like you're just better than everybody, but you never shut up about it. if you're honestly going to move on from a situation that you made a video about, you made public, it's okay to move on. You don't have to keep mentioning the situation. If you're done, you're done. Just because you have a video out on it doesn't mean you have to keep pointing out every little thing that a person did wrong. That's not what ranters do. You point out somebody's bullshit. If they cause trouble again, maybe it's worthy of another video for hilarity or just awareness, but if not, move on. Stop mentioning topics that you yourself said is terrifying you. If Kura terrifies you and this whole situation is annoying you, then leave it alone. There are just countless numbers of times where you keep bringing this up, and it's honestly so annoying. You're dropping down to their level, and don't you dare say I'm defending them, because in all honesty, they're assholes. All of them are assholes. You did the right thing for trying to point out their stupidity, because if you didn't, things probably would have gotten worse for yourself. Those people are super not worthy of your time. In all honesty, a video was probably, kind of pulling at the strings a bit, but it was kind of helpful towards you, so that's fine. But come on, if you want to move on from something, actually do it. Alright, now this is where it gets interesting on Saki's part. When her video came out, it was mainly a call out towards Luna, which, I gotta be honest, was kind of deserving considering Luna puts way too many targets on her back, and some of the stuff she said towards Saki was really unnecessary. But here's the thing, she mainly pointed the finger at Luna only because that was the easiest way for her to call out all four of them. Here's the reason why. First of all, we have Saki's conversation with Shiva. Now, I just want to point this out right now. I'm just going to point out what I think of this conversation, and I'm going to link this in the description as well. There's going to be a lot. I'm just only going to explain what I think was basically the main content of this Skype conversation. I'm not saying this is what actually happened. I'm not saying this was, how it was, brought out, because in all honesty, it's really hard to tell what exactly happened here. So, in my point of view, the way I see this conversation is that Saki and Shiva were having a slight heated conversation about what happened regarding the explanation video, and Shiva wanted it to end on good terms and apologize for a lot that happened. Saki was still a little bit heated, but it seemed to end on good terms. And then after a bit, Saki just came out guns blazing, which from what I assume is what Luna said to her. I'm not really sure, but Shiva was panicking, and the only way to get Saki to stop, talking to her was to block her. I admit, like I said before, I don't know exactly how the conversation went down. That's my interpretation of it. So, I'm gonna just leave it in the description, and you guys can just come up with your little theories on what exactly it is, but in all honesty, it's bad on both parts, but at the same time, it seems a little bit more targeted towards Shiva. Mainly because what Saki says, especially after their goodbyes, and then Saki just coming out of nowhere saying all these specific shits, I don't know what to say to it. It seems like Shiva really wanted this to end on a more positive note, but Saki just kept pushing it. But that's just my way of seeing it. But this is where it gets interesting. There was another person who had a conversation relating to this, and that was an associate of Mickey, Shiva, and Cherry named Key Grimm. Now, most people might already know Key, but I'm not going to, go into any further detail. I don't know, the exact status of the situation between those people, so I'm just gonna refer to them as an associate. But this is the thing that really confused me. So what I think of this specific conversation, which I'll leave in the description as well, this conversation seemed, normal. He seemed very shooken up about the group, considering, there was a lot that happened. I'm not gonna say what for private reasons, it's just, whatever she said in the conversation. But then, it seems like Saki was trying to push the fact that they were abusing her. Just like what Mayo and all her ex-friends did to her. So, this is where it gets really interesting. Saki seems to wanting to push the fact to people, if they're having problems with their group of friends, that they're being abused. And the way Saki was trying to use that was from what Key mentioned about her private life. I'm not really sure what to say about this, but it seems kind of scummy to me. And I'm not saying, this is what really happened. Like I said, I was just giving these screenshots about, and I was given permission to do this as well, but that's just what it seems like. I can't shake the feeling that Saki is really pushing the abusive tactic on her, which really, really kind of scares me, honestly, because people are allowed to have fights. People, like, friends sometimes don't get along, and sometimes there's tension, but the way that she's pulling the abusive tactic with Key when it comes to those people, it just seems kind of suspicious. But I'll repeat this again. These are just what I believe what was going on in these conversations. You guys can believe whatever you want. I'm going to leave these in the description below, and you guys can determine on what you guys think about this. Let your theories roam, because I know most of this seems a bit, kind of, out there, especially since, since I know these people, but at the same time, it just seems very, very suspicious. Now, this is the final nail in the coffin. I found this screenshot of what Saki said about a specific little topic, which I will go into detail in a second. Let me just read to you what she said. Was the issue that happened childish? Abso-fucking-lutely hell. I stated at points in my video where I knew I was wrong in doing something, but I'm not going to continue to be lied to and manipulate like that. And I won't have others be lied to and manipulated either. I'm not going to have people pretend to be sincerely nice and mature to others like that. That's just utterly disgusting. Especially given Mickey's past history of her pattern of friendships. Her ex-friends all came to confirm everything, so I'm not the only one. Don't you worry, I'll make my own video tomorrow, but I'm not going to give the hidden between the lines snid undertone of look at me, I'm being a mature one, owning up, ha ha ha, tail that bitch. Oh, you got to be joking me. Okay, let me just explain something here. So, if anyone has followed me for a long time, you would know that a year ago I made a video called Young Guardian and Grism Alice Rant. Now, there was a specific part of that video where I mentioned where Young Guardian had brought up that she had information on Mickey from quote-unquote old friends, and it caused Mickey to break down. Here's the thing about that situation. It wasn't as one-sided as I put it in that video. Mickey admitted that she was an ass, everyone was an ass, just like this one. Everyone in that situation was an ass. But, here's the important part, and I hope you all listen to this, it was over a year ago! So hearing this, Saki is literally trying to get dirt on Mickey that's over a year old. Huh. Hey, that actually sounds familiar. Huh. Wait, Saki, let me ask you something. If this is the case, does that mean I get to hold you against what you did in your past? With what you did to your ex-friends and the art thief situation with the Tumblerinas and everything else? Okay, if that's your logic, I'm gonna do that then. No, but all seriousness. Yes, this comment was a bit dated after, Saki made her Dead to Me journal, but let me just make this clear. Saki is trying to maybe get dirt on everyone she had a problem with that possibly could be dated. And if that doesn't drive the nail in the coffin even more, let me just explain another situation that I found. Supposedly, Saki was trying to get dirt on Cherry as well. From this one user, which I assume Cherry had trouble with in the past. I don't know the whole story completely, but supposedly Saki was trying to contact this person as well, and trying to figure out what Cherry did in her past as well with that person. If that doesn't drive the nail any further, I don't know what is, and I'm fucking repeating myself. God fuck, horse cock! Here's what I'm getting out of this whole situation. Even though everyone had said that they wanted to move on from this, the only one that I'm seeing that's trying to get dirt on them for no reason is Saki. This is where she doesn't learn how to take her own mistakes. She tried to be clever. She tried to be so clever in her Dead to Me journal, saying like, even I said that this whole situation was stupid, even though A, she put her video on private, 2, she tried to get dirt on both Mickey and Cherry. And let's think about this for a second. Even in her Dead to Me journal, she said that I won't put the video back up if they do something. Like, she's expecting them to fuck up so she could put the video back up. That doesn't sound like someone who's moving on. Like I said, she tries to sound like she's smart, and I know she is. But that's what she does. She keeps saying but. She keeps trying to do that so she can get the last laugh. That's pretty much what this whole situation is. Her trying to get the last laugh. And that's what I can't fucking stand. Saki, you do realize that there are people that are severely pissed off at you for what you put in your video, right? I won't say their name for the sake of their privacy and respect for them, but you seriously have pissed a lot of people off. A lot of people have come up to you to try to talk to you about the whole situation, and you tried to use that against Mickey, Shiva, and Cherry just because you thought it was ammo. There's so many people who are not happy with you right now because of what you did. And honestly, the stuff you said in your video is mostly just assumptions. Especially for the fact that you called Mickey an abusive spouse because of an accident on Google+. This is a thing that I always thought was a big issue with you. You assume way too much. Even in your Corruption of a Rancher's video, you tried to assume that Rascal didn't want this whole situation to come up, even though that's not what she said. There's just a lot of things that, basically, if you don't know how to say it, you just assume, and then you expect everyone to believe you. That's not what a renter is supposed to do. You show the evidence, either read it, or at least analyze it in a way, and let people interpret it the way they want. You can't just wave a flag saying you know exactly what they said like a fucking Einstein wannabe and think that it's going to be okay. You barely showed evidence in your video about the whole situation, and you just assume way too much. So many people got pissed at you for using their screenshots or comments against people when they want nothing to do with the situation. And that may sound confusing, but if Saki, like I said, I know you're smart, sweetie. I know you're smart. So don't you dare act like this whole situation is nothing but an attack against you. Because, let's face it, you pretty much showed me your true colors as soon as this whole situation popped up. In fact, looking back on the whole Mayo situation, there are exactly one thing in common with that situation and this one, and that's you. You were pissed and you were upset about something that happened in your real life. You took it out on your friends. And what happened when this situation got public? You did the exact same fucking thing. And you yourself admitted that you were a piece of shit back then. I mean, everyone has. I'm a piece of shit. I mean, look at me. I've done very, very terrible things in my past, and I'm willing to admit that and learn from them. So has everyone else. So, unless you're an idiot, I'd probably suggest that you learn from your mistakes as well. Because with all of this, I can't honestly suspect on what you're trying to do. You're just trying to seem like you're better than everybody. Just because this whole situation got to you emotionally doesn't mean everyone was upset. Yes, you can have emotions. Everyone is allowed to cry. Everyone is allowed to fucking cry. But don't act like just because someone said something on a computer screen doesn't mean they're upset too. You'd be surprised how hard it is to emote through a keyboard and a computer screen. It's very, very hard to do that. I had so much respect for you, and I thought you had so much potential. But in all honesty, if you do end up making more videos based on the situation, let it be towards me, thank you. Because not only has the situation caused enough stress with the group at hand, but I cannot stand the fact that one of my friends cried while trying to explain this to me. So if you're planning on pointing the finger again for maybe the umpteenth time at them, let it be me. They're done. Mickey, Shiva, and Cherry are done with you. They want nothing to do with this situation. Everything is over for them. You're gonna have to deal with me now. Because not only do I have evidence, but I also have witnesses and everything that will bring your credibility down if you don't do something. So, if you're planning on making a video about me or exposing me in some sort of way, then go ahead. I really don't give a shit. Because in all honesty, I really want to know what I did fuck up in because I want to improve upon myself. from what I know, I only fucked up maybe once or twice in my YouTube career, and I managed to fix it. So if you're planning on finding any ways to expose me, good fucking luck. Because, like I said, they're all done. All 4 of them. This is me you're dealing with now. Because I cannot stand the fact that my friends got so upset over this, and you're just throwing hammers over a brick wall just so you can get a final laugh. So, what exactly are you going to do now? I ask this with everybody I do videos on. What are you going to do now? I know you're probably going to try to get the final laugh out of this, and I know you're probably going to act like this whole thing won't affect you in any way. But, from what I've seen, you're really, really hurting yourself with what you do in your videos. And in all honesty, you're doing the exact same mistakes I did. Getting overly emotional, only believing one side, and then making a video about it thinking that it's going to change anything, when in reality it only made it worse. Everyone was at fault with this situation. You were at fault. You started this for the most part, with you making your update video, crying saying you're gonna leave, ranting forever just because Levi wanted to get her final thoughts out, making an explanation video, getting butthurt over one comment, and then after this whole situation went up and you said it was gonna be all over and that you were done, who was the one that made the video first? It was you. And everyone got a shot at Mickey, Shiva, and Cherry, and even Luna. Because, here's the thing, you may not know it, but you have a mob mentality with your fans. You may say disclaimer, you may have a disclaimer saying you don't want to promote harassment, but in all honesty, because you uploaded your video first, absolutely fucking no one wanted to believe what they had to say. And thankfully, one side managed to learn from their mistakes and delete their video. And what did you do? You just put your video in private like you're preparing to start World War III or something like that. So, before I conclude this, I would like to say, look in a mirror and tell yourself, what have you become and what are you doing with your content? Because that's exactly what I used to do. Think about what you're doing before you do something drastic. I'm not attacking you. I'm not doing anything against you. I'm just putting in my even odds with this. Because in all honesty, this video may have directly been pointed at you, but it was for a good reason. You do not admit to your faults, and that is not what a functioning human being does. And you admitted yourself that your past is not today. So how about you pull a Sunset Shimmer and actually do what she did and practice what you preach? That's all I gotta say. I'm just gonna pray that a flame war probably won't burst out in this video, but like I said, do whatever it is you do. Don't let this break you down in any way, because take it from someone who had made plenty of mistakes. And if you can just admit to your mistakes, then we could be cool. And if anyone ever threatens or tries to attack you or anything, I'll shut those fuckers down faster than a freight train. Because I do not promote harassment with any of my videos, regardless of how bad they are. And Saki, I know you're not a bad person. I know you want to change, and I know you can do it. If you want my help, then fine. Don't let this video get in the way of how you see me. Because all jokes aside, this is just how I talk. I call everybody's bullshit out regardless of who they are. So, let's just have this sink in for a minute. And then maybe, just maybe, we can all move on. And to a lot of people who are probably going to throw sporks at me for making this video because it was kind of hopping on the train a little bit and it was kind of unnecessary. Let's just be honest, people. If you're going to act like this in real life or on the internet, this is not the way to do it. Let this be a lesson to everybody. And if you get into drama and you happen to be a ranter, don't just make a video because you think it's going to make you feel better. I made that mistake. Saki made that mistake. Everyone made that mistake. Alright, that's all I gotta say. This is IcyHazard here, and I'll see you all laters.